Okay, first thing we need to do is line up the coordinate system. And I'm going to put the coordinate system in the center of this block. But the first thing I need to do is take it from a side view and transform it over to a top view. So I'm just going to go to View, Line World Coordinate System on Geometry. I'm going to pick Surface and just pick the top surface. Next, I want to put it at the top in the center. So go to the Machining menu, Stock Setup, and for current part origin, I'm going to pick top middle. Hit the Auto Setup button. You can see we're at the top. Alright, now we've got some machining, the pockets to machine. So I'm going to use Snap to All. Come down to the bottom of the pocket to get an idea, and the depth is 0.290. The corner radius is 0.62, so I can use a 1/8 end mill. So next we create our boundary curves. I've added a face curve button. You can go to the curves menu and use face boundary. Next thing I'm going to do is go to edit and check verify mode. That allows me to select multiple surfaces. Enter. First thing we're going to do is we're going to hog this larger pocket out. So I want to make this my active curve. So I come down to our taskbar and it'll be curve 1, which was already selected. That's okay. Then we're going to go to automation and we're going to pocket. The depth I'm going to leave at 0. The curve is already at my depth. You can put the actual depth of the pocket. You can use a Z-step to make multiple passes until you get to full depth. I'm going to leave 10 thousandths on the wall. I'm going to go to Advance. You can select a tool from a tool library. You can create your own library. You can simply change the values on the fly. You can choose high-speed machining. I prefer it. It allows me to take the end mill and plunge all the way down to depth and take and shave, if you will, using a higher feed and speed. And you might not want to take a full 50% of the cutter. You might want to take, I don't know, 25%. I do have a finished path, so I don't necessarily need the stock allowance, so I'm going to just take that off. If you didn't want to take off the stock allowance, you would go back in and you would go make a contour operation out of curve 1. Verify. My tool starts in the center and it keeps spiraling out, and then it uses a loop into the corners, so it takes a nice even chip load. I will go back in and I'm going to add plunge options. We'll use a helical plunge. Helical radius, let's go with 0.5. Pitch will go down every 50 thousandths. You can see the graphics are explaining what it's doing. Now you can see as it gets to full depth and ready for the high speed machining and high feed rates, you can take and do a 3D preview. Now the post processor determines how fast the tool returns to the start point. Now you can do a bidirectional. This is feeding back over and taking and cutting in one direction. If I wanted bidirectional, I would go into the cycle data and hit the reverse direction, so it allows you to go wiggle back and forth. And then you would do the same thing for the remaining pockets. Let's make sure we've got a good tool for the corners. That's fine. So we can use the 1/8 tool throughout. Make the bottom curve here my active curve. Maybe call it pocket 1. Now the surface, because we're taking it down to full depth, I can leave the surface at 0 so it starts the helical spiral from the top. If I want to be more specific, I can go down to the bottom of the pocket here, click -390. But I want to go to the top of the pocket, -290. So you just go in, right mouse, paste. It stores the click, the left click, into the clipboard. And I'll probably add the other pockets. I can just go into machining and then add machining curves. You get a better finish if you use the 3D preview. And that concludes machining pockets on a solid model.